Every pilot knows one rule. The more you hide, the more you stand out. Captain Gregory Hall forgot
Weight
that
mismatch
rule.
on cargo.
And today, on Flight 147 at
Screenshot
Gate
logged.
C-17, he's about to learn it
This
the hard
seal
way.
is torn.
Because the flight attendant he's
what are you
calling
doing?
security on,
My
she's
job.
not
This is
harassing
non-compliant.
him.
Stop it now!
She's observing
Captain,
him.
pre-flight
And what
checklist.
she's
Rudder
observed
check.
in the last
Right,
40
rudder
minutes
check.
has
Sir, the
already been
instruments are powering
reported to
up.
the FBI. He thinks security is coming to remove her from his plane. Security is coming, but not for her, for him. It's 2:47 p.m. Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Gate C-17. The Boeing 737-800 registration N847UA sits at the gate. Its cargo doors open, ground crew loading the final bags. Flight 147 to Seattle-Tacoma. 3 hours and 42 minutes of flying time. 165 passengers. The afternoon sun glares off the tarmac. Inside the terminal, travelers wait impatiently, checking phones, sipping coffee, ready to board. It's a routine Tuesday afternoon flight, the kind that happens 1,000 times a day across America, the kind where nothing unusual should be happening, but something unusual is happening, something illegal, and someone is noticing. Captain Gregory Hall checks his phone for the 8th time in 10 minutes. He's 51 years old, 6 foot even, well-groomed salt and pepper hair, expensive Cartier watch. His captain's uniform is perfectly pressed, 4 gold stripes crisp against navy blue. His rolling bag is designer leather. Everything about him screams success and control, but his eyes tell a different story. They dart around constantly. Gate agents, ground crew, passengers, other pilots, watching, always watching. His jaw is tight. His left hand keeps going to his phone, checking, rechecking, waiting for something. Gregory's been with the airline for 23 years, senior captain, exemplary record, nearly spotless. The nearly comes from 3 incidents in the past 18 months where he was unusually defensive with ground staff about cargo loading. The reports noted aggressive responses to routine questions, but nothing actionable. Just odd behavior from an otherwise reliable captain. What those reports didn't note, what nobody knew to look for, was why he was defensive, what he was protecting, what was in those cargo holds that made a 23-year veteran act like a nervous criminal. His phone buzzes, a text, package on board. Gregory's shoulders relax slightly. He types back quickly, confirmed. Deletes the message, deletes the entire conversation thread, puts the phone away, pulls it back out 30 seconds later, checks again. Nothing. Good. He doesn't notice the woman at the gate counter watching him, doesn't notice how her eyes track the phone, the nervous energy, the pattern of behavior. He's too focused on watching everyone else to realize someone is watching him. Senior flight attendant Ava Martinez has worked for United Airlines for 14 years. She's 37 years old, 5'6", dark hair pulled into a neat ponytail. Her uniform is immaculate. 2 service pins on her collar, one for 10 years, one for customer service excellence. But it's not the visible pins that matter, it's what's not visible. The training she doesn't talk about, the attention to detail that goes beyond passenger service, the way she sees patterns where others see noise. Ava is standing at the gate podium reviewing the passenger manifest when Gregory walks past. She notices 3 things immediately. 1. His hand goes to his phone every 90 seconds. 2. His eyes scan the gate area constantly. 3. He's sweating slightly despite the air conditioning. She's seen nervous pilots before, pre-flight jitters, personal problems, medical issues. This isn't that. This is different. This is vigilance. The kind of vigilance people have when they're watching for threats or hiding something. She returns her attention to the manifest. Flight 147, standard load, 165 passengers, checked bags within normal range. Cargo load listed at 4,200 pounds. She glances at the cargo loading report. Actual weight showing 4,700 pounds. 500-pound discrepancy. Could be a data entry error. Could be last-minute cargo addition. Could be nothing. But Ava doesn't dismiss details. Details matter. She makes a mental note. Opens her phone, takes a screenshot of both documents, timestamps visible. 20 minutes before boarding, Ava walks out to the ramp to conduct her standard pre-flight inspection. She passes the cargo hold where ground crew are securing the last containers. Standard procedure. She verifies the cargo net tension, checks the door seals, ensures everything is properly secured. One of the cargo containers catches her eye. It's marked as general cargo, but it's loaded in the priority position, and it has a non-standard tag, not the usual United Cargo tag, something else. She moves closer. The tag shows a private shipping company she doesn't recognize, and the manifest tape across the container door is slightly torn, like it was opened and resealed. She takes a photo. Just documentation, nothing unusual yet, but details matter. Gregory appears at the top of the air stairs, sees her near the cargo hold. His expression changes instantly, from nervous to angry. He comes down the stairs fast. His exact words, "What are you doing?" Ava explains calmly. Standard pre-flight check, cargo security verification, it's on her checklist. Gregory's response is immediate and sharp. She needs to stay in the cabin. Cargo is not her concern. Pilots and ground crew handle cargo. She's cabin crew. She needs to do cabin crew things. Ava doesn't react to the tone. She's professional. Explains that safety regulations require cabin crew to verify cargo door security. It's literally in the operations manual. Gregory steps closer, invades her space slightly, tells her the cargo is fine. He personally verified it. She needs to get on the plane and prepare the cabin. Stop interfering with ground operations. Two ground crew members hear the exchange, look at each other. One of them, an older supervisor named Marcus, has worked O'Hare for 27 years. He's never heard a captain snap at crew over a routine safety check. He files that away mentally. Ava nods, tells Gregory she's just following procedure, turns and walks up the stairs. Her face remains neutral, professional, but her mind is cataloging. Defensive behavior, territorial about cargo, unusual hostility, added to the data. Phone behavior, cargo weight discrepancy, non-standard container, pattern emerging. She boards the aircraft, moves to the galley, pulls out her phone, opens a secure app most people don't know cabin crew have access to. It's a direct reporting line to airline security for suspicious activity. She types quickly, Flight 147 ORD to SEA. Captain Gregory Hall observed, defensive behavior regarding cargo inspection, cargo weight discrepancy, 500 pounds, non-standard cargo container with torn manifest seal, unusual vigilance behavior, recommend discreet verification. She doesn't send it yet, not enough evidence, but she saves it as a draft, timestamps, photos attached, evidence building. Inside the cockpit, Gregory settles into the left seat. His first officer, a young woman named Amanda Chen, is already running the pre-flight checklist. She's methodical, careful. Gregory barely acknowledges her. He pulls out his phone again, checks messages. Nothing. Good, everything is on schedule. Amanda notices his distraction, asks if everything is okay. Gregory snaps that everything is fine. They need to focus on getting out on time. Stop asking questions and run the checklist. Amanda's eyebrows raise slightly. She's flown with Gregory twice before. Both times he was quiet but professional. This version is different. Tense, hostile. She makes no comment, continues the checklist, but she's noticing too. Boarding begins. Passengers file on, the usual mix, business travelers with laptops, families with kids, college students with backpacks. Seat 4B, a man in his 30s who keeps looking at his phone nervously. Seat 12A, a woman traveling alone who immediately falls asleep. Rows 18 to 22, a church group heading to a Seattle conference. And seat 7C, a man in a dark suit, 40-something, quiet, observant. He boards last, sits down without fanfare, pulls out a magazine, doesn't read it, just watches. Ava notices him immediately, not because he's suspicious, because he's too deliberately unsuspicious, too carefully normal. She's seen this before. Federal air marshals have a particular way of being invisible. This man has that way. She wonders if he's marshal or something else. By 3:34 p.m., boarding is complete. The cabin door closes. Ground crew disconnects. The 737 pushes back from gate C-17. Gregory runs through the taxi checklist. Amanda follows along. Everything normal, except Gregory keeps checking over his shoulder, looking back toward the cabin door, like he expects someone to open it. The aircraft taxis toward runway 28L. The cargo sits in the hold, 4,700 pounds, 500 pounds of it not on the manifest, 500 pounds that Gregory is very, very concerned about. Tower clears them for takeoff. Gregory advances the throttles. The 737 accelerates, rotate, climb, gear up. The aircraft lifts off Chicago's runway 28L at 3:49 p.m. Flight 147 is airborne, the cargo is airborne, and the observer in seat 7C opens his phone, types a message. Bird is flying, package on board, monitoring. He's not a marshal, he's FBI. And Ava's earlier photos, the ones she took of the cargo container, she sent them, not to airline security, to the FBI tip line 3 hours ago before she even came to the gate. What Captain Gregory Hall doesn't know, what he can't know, because he's too busy watching everyone else to see who's watching him, is that his carefully hidden operation has already been compromised, not by investigators, not by security sweeps, by a flight attendant who pays attention to details, who notices patterns, who knows that 500-pound discrepancies aren't accidents. The man in seat 7C isn't random. The FBI has been tracking Gregory for 6 weeks, ever since an anonymous tip came in about cargo irregularities on specific routes. They've been building a case, waiting for the right moment, gathering evidence, and Ava just gave them the final piece: photos of the non-standard container, timestamps, location data, everything they needed for probable cause. Right now, at 11,000 feet and climbing, Gregory Hall thinks he's safe. Thinks his cargo is secure, thinks the nervous flight attendant asking about cargo doors is just an annoyance. He has no idea that when this plane lands in Seattle, security won't be coming for Ava. They'll be coming for him. 41 minutes into the flight, the 737 cruises at 34,000 feet over Iowa. The cabin is quiet. Most passengers are reading, working, or staring out windows at the patchwork farmland below. The church group in rows 18 to 22 plays cards quietly. The business travelers in first class tap on laptops. Everything appears routine. In the cockpit, Gregory sits rigid in the captain's seat. His hand rests on the side stick, but his attention keeps drifting to the cargo panel display. He's checking fuel balance, except he's checked it 9 times in the last 20 minutes. The numbers haven't changed. He keeps checking anyway. Amanda runs through the cruise checklist methodically, asks Gregory to confirm several items. He responds with single words. Yes, fine, confirmed, no elaboration, no conversation, just terse acknowledgments. Amanda has given up trying to engage him. She focuses on her instruments and stays quiet. In the cabin, Ava moves through the beverage service with practiced efficiency, but her eyes aren't on the drinks, they're on details. She notices the passenger in 4B checking his phone every few minutes despite the no cellular service requirement. She notices Gregory hasn't come out for his routine cabin walk, something most captains do mid-flight. She notices the man in 7C hasn't touched his magazine in 40 minutes, but his eyes constantly scan the cabin. She pours coffee for row 8, moves forward, and she notices something else, a slight vibration in the floor. Not turbulence, something different, coming from below, from the cargo hold. Gregory's phone vibrates, text message. His whole body tenses. He pulls it out, reads, "Temperature sensor triggered, check status." His face drains of color. He opens the cargo monitoring system on his display. The forward cargo hold temperature shows normal. Aft cargo hold shows slightly elevated, not critical, not unusual. Cargo holds can warm up depending on load and insulation, but someone is monitoring that temperature, someone who shouldn't have access to aircraft systems data. He types back, "Normal range, stay calm," deletes the message, deletes the thread. His hands are shaking slightly. Amanda notices the phone, points out that they're in flight and phone use is restricted to essential communication, asks if there's a problem. Gregory's response is sharp, tells her it's none of her concern. Personal emergency, keep flying the plane. Amanda's jaw tightens. She says nothing, but she opens her tablet and documents the exchange. Time, date, captain's hostile response to standard operational question. She's building her own record now, but the real shock was yet to come. Ava returns to the aft galley for supplies. The vibration in the floor is stronger here, consistent, like machinery running. But there shouldn't be machinery running in the cargo hold, just baggage, just cargo containers, nothing mechanical. She kneels down, puts her hand flat on the galley floor, feels the vibration clearly. It's not the aircraft systems, it's not the engines, it's something else. Something in the hold directly below this galley. She stands, moves to the intercom, calls the cockpit. Gregory answers with an irritated tone, asks what she wants. Ava reports the observation. Unusual vibration detected in aft section. Feels mechanical. May indicate cargo shifts or equipment malfunction. Recommends inspection. There's a long pause. Then Gregory tells her it's normal. Aircraft systems produce vibrations. Everything is fine. Don't call the cockpit unless it's an actual emergency. He hangs up. Ava stands holding the intercom. That wasn't normal response. That was defensive, almost panicked. She glances at the floor again. The vibration continues, steady, rhythmic. She pulls out her phone, updates her draft report. Mid-flight observation, mechanical vibration from cargo hold. Captain dismissive of concern, phone use in cockpit observed, increasing defensive behavior. She still doesn't send it, but the evidence pile is growing. The man in seat 7C, the FBI agent, stands and walks to the aft galley, asks Ava for coffee. While she pours it, he speaks quietly. His exact words, "You feel that vibration too?" Ava looks at him carefully, nods slowly, confirms she's reported it to the cockpit. Captain says it's normal. The agent takes his coffee, tells her to keep reporting anything unusual, anything at all. His tone makes it clear he's not just a concerned passenger. Ava processes this, realizes he's law enforcement, asks directly if he's FBI. He doesn't confirm or deny, just tells her to stay observant, document everything. If the captain becomes hostile, call him forward immediately. He's in 7C. Remember that. He returns to his seat. Ava stands frozen for a moment. FBI on board, cargo irregularities, defensive captain, mechanical vibration from unauthorized equipment. This isn't random. This is an operation, and it's happening on her flight. An hour and 48 minutes into the flight, Gregory gets another text. Authorities may be aware, abort if necessary. His heart rate spikes. Authorities. How could they know? He was careful. The manifest was clean. The paperwork was perfect. Unless someone reported something. Someone saw something. Someone at the gate. Someone on the ramp. Someone who shouldn't have been looking at cargo. The flight attendant. The one asking questions, taking photos, checking cargo doors. He told her to mind her business, but what if she didn't? What if she reported him? He unbuckles, stands up. Amanda asks where he's going. He tells her to monitor the aircraft. He's checking the cabin, slams the cockpit door behind him. He walks into the cabin with purpose. Passengers look up, startled by the captain's sudden appearance and aggressive energy. He scans the rows, looking for Ava. Finds her in the forward galley. She's preparing lunch service. Gregory approaches fast, gets too close, invades her space. His exact words, "Did you report something about my cargo?" Ava maintains professional composure, tells him she conducts standard safety observations. It's her job. Gregory's voice rises, tells her she's harassing him, interfering with his command. She has no authority to inspect cargo, no right to question his operations. She's overstepping her position, and he wants her removed from this aircraft. The cabin goes quiet. Passengers in first class hear everything. The church group in rows 18 to 22 stops talking. The man in 7C stands up slowly. Ava's voice remains calm, explains she's following safety protocols. If he has concerns about her conduct, they can address it after landing through proper channels. Gregory is beyond reason now. His paranoia has overtaken his judgment. He pulls out the intercom, calls Amanda in the cockpit, tells her to radio ahead to Seattle. He wants security waiting at the gate. This flight attendant is being insubordinate and threatening flight safety. She's to be removed and questioned. Passengers exchange shocked glances. This is not normal captain behavior. The church group's pastor stands up, asks if everything is okay. Gregory tells him to sit down and mind his business. The FBI agent in 7C moves forward, positions himself between Gregory and Ava, doesn't identify himself yet, just creates physical distance. His body language makes it clear he's prepared to intervene if necessary. And right then, something unexpected happened. A chime sounds from the cockpit. Amanda's voice comes over the PA, calm but urgent. Captain needs to return to cockpit immediately. They have a cargo hold fire indication. Gregory freezes. The blood drains from his face completely. Cargo fire, the container, the equipment inside generating heat, the temperature sensor, the warning he dismissed. He runs back to the cockpit. Ava watches him go, sees the panic, the fear. This isn't about insubordination. This is about whatever is in that cargo hold. She pulls out her phone, opens the draft report, adds, Captain, hostile confrontation witnessed by multiple passengers threatening to have me removed. Cargo fire indication now active. Suspect illegal cargo operation. This time she hits send, not to airline security, to the FBI tip line, with all photos, all timestamps, all evidence. Subject line, Flight 147 ORD to SEA. Illegal cargo. Captain complicit, FBI agent on board, seat 7C, request immediate ground response, Seattle. In the cockpit, Gregory stares at the cargo fire panel. The aft cargo hold shows elevated temperature and smoke detection. Not confirmed fire yet, but indication the system is telling him something is wrong. Amanda starts running the cargo fire checklist, tells Gregory they need to discharge the fire suppression system, deploy the halon, depressurize the cargo hold. Gregory hesitates. If they discharge the suppression system, it kills everything in the hold, including the equipment, including the evidence of what's actually down there. But if they don't, the fire could spread. Amanda asks why he's hesitating. This is a fire indication. They discharge immediately. That's the procedure. Gregory knows she's right, but discharging means questions, means investigation, means authorities going through the cargo, finding the container, finding what's inside, finding the equipment that isn't supposed to exist. He makes a decision driven by panic. Tells Amanda it's a false alarm, sensor malfunction. They're not discharging. They're continuing to Seattle. Amanda stares at him, asks if he's serious. They have a smoke indication and he's refusing to discharge suppression. Gregory's voice goes cold, reminds her he's the captain, his authority, his decision. They're 34 minutes from Seattle. They can make it, no discharge. Amanda's hands tremble slightly. She opens her tablet, documents this. Time. Gregory's refusal to follow fire procedures. His command decision to ignore safety protocol. If this plane goes down, she's making sure everyone knows it was his choice. The cargo hold temperature continues climbing. Smoke indication remains active. Whatever is in that container is overheating. The equipment running inside generating more heat than it can dissipate. It's not a fire yet, but it's close. In the cabin, Ava feels the vibration intensify. Whatever is running below is working harder or breaking down. She moves to the aft section. The floor is noticeably warmer. She can feel heat through her shoes. The FBI agent approaches her, tells her quietly to prepare the cabin for possible emergency landing. Don't alarm passengers, but be ready. She nods. Begins subtle preparation, ensures emergency equipment is accessible, briefs Sarah and the other flight attendants on potential evacuation procedures. Passengers are getting nervous. The captain's outburst earlier created tension. Now the unusual activity from crew, the frequent glances toward the cockpit. Something is wrong. They can feel it. Gregory gets another text. Abort now. Destroy evidence. We're compromised. He reads it 3 times. Destroy evidence. How? Fire? Depressurize the hold? Open the cargo door mid-flight? None of those are options. They're all insane, all suicidal. He deletes the message, blocks the number. His hands won't stop shaking. Amanda watches him, realizes she's flying with someone who is either having a breakdown or involved in something criminal. Either way, she's effectively the only functional pilot on this aircraft. She takes control of the radios, contacts Seattle approach, requests priority landing, reports possible cargo fire indication, requests emergency equipment standing by. Seattle approach clears them for immediate vectors. Emergency services will be ready. They're 18 minutes out. Gregory hears the radio call, realizes what Amanda just did. She went over his head, called for emergency response. That means investigators, means authorities, means everything he was trying to avoid. He's trapped, and he knows it. The cargo hold temperature alarm escalates to urgent. The system is demanding action. Amanda's hand moves toward the fire suppression discharge handle, tells Gregory she's discharging right now. Captain's authority or not. Gregory doesn't stop her, can't stop her, he's beaten. He knows it's over. Amanda pulls the handle. Halon discharges into the aft cargo hold. The suppression system floods the container with fire retardant gas, kills the fire risk, kills the equipment, kills the evidence of what was running, but also preserves what was being transported. The temperature begins dropping, smoke indication clears, immediate danger over, but for Gregory, the real danger is just beginning. Because when they land, security won't be waiting for Ava, they'll be waiting for him. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, runway 16L. The 737 is 12 minutes out. Emergency vehicles line the taxiway. Fire trucks, ambulances, airport security, and 3 black SUVs with federal plates parked near the terminal, FBI. In the cockpit, Amanda flies the approach manually. Stabilized, professional, by the book. Gregory sits silently in the left seat. His hands are in his lap. He's given up pretending to be in command. Amanda is flying. Amanda is communicating. Amanda is in control. Seattle approach vectors them for straight-in approach. Emergency equipment is standing by. Medical services ready. And something else. Ground security has been notified to hold the aircraft at the gate. No one deplanes until clearance given. Gregory hears that instruction, knows what it means. They're not holding the plane for fire inspection, they're holding it for him. In the cabin, Ava briefs the passengers on emergency landing procedures. Her voice is calm, reassuring. She explains they'll be landing with emergency equipment present as a precaution, standard protocol for cargo fire indication, nothing to be concerned about, remain seated, follow crew instructions, everything is under control. The passengers believe her because she believes it, because she knows exactly what's happening. This isn't about fire anymore. This is about justice. The FBI agent in 7C catches her eye, gives a small nod. Confirmation. Everything is proceeding as planned. The 737 crosses the threshold, touches down smoothly. Thrust reversers deploy. Brakes engage. The aircraft rolls to a stop on the runway. Emergency vehicles surround them immediately. Fire crews inspect the external cargo doors, check for heat signatures, smoke, damage. All clear. No external fire indications. Safe to taxi. Amanda taxis toward the gate. Slow, controlled. The black SUVs follow at a distance, maintaining visual contact with the aircraft. They reach gate A7, park, set brakes, shut down checklist. Amanda runs through every item methodically. Gregory sits motionless. Doesn't speak, doesn't move. The jet bridge connects. The cabin door remains closed, waiting. The intercom chimes, Seattle ground operations, their message is direct. All crew and passengers remain seated. Federal authorities are boarding the aircraft, await further instructions. Passengers exchange nervous glances. Federal authorities? For a cargo fire, something bigger is happening. The forward cabin door opens. 3 FBI agents enter, dark suits, badges visible. They're followed by 2 airport security officers and a TSA supervisor. The lead agent, a woman in her 40s, badge reading Special Agent Reeves, scans the cabin, locates the agent in 7C. He stands, approaches her. Brief conversation. He points toward the cockpit, points toward Ava. Agent Reeves approaches Ava directly, asks her to confirm her identity. Ava Martinez, senior flight attendant. Reeves thanks her, tells her the photographs and reports she submitted 3 hours ago provided the probable cause they needed. The cargo container she documented contains unauthorized electronic surveillance equipment being illegally transported across state lines. Captain Hall has been under investigation for 6 weeks. Today's flight was the final evidence collection. Ava processes this calmly, asks if they need her statement. Reeves confirms they do, but first, they need to secure the captain. Reeves approaches the cockpit, knocks twice. Amanda opens it. Her eyes widen at the FBI badges. Reeves identifies herself, asks Amanda to step aside. Amanda exits quickly, stands in the galley with Ava. Reeves enters the cockpit. Gregory is still in the captain's seat. Hasn't moved, hasn't unbuckled, just sitting, staring straight ahead. Reeves's exact words. Captain Gregory Hall, you're under arrest for illegal transportation of restricted technology, conspiracy to violate export control laws, and obstruction of federal investigation. Gregory doesn't resist, doesn't argue, doesn't even look surprised. He unbuckles slowly, stands. Reeves cuffs him, reads his rights. Another agent appears with an evidence bag, takes his phone, his watch, his tablet, everything. They walk him out of the cockpit, through the cabin. Every passenger watches in complete silence. The church group stares. The business travelers record on phones. The man in 4B, turns out he was Gregory's accomplice, monitoring the cargo remotely, is also being escorted out by agents. Both arrested, both silent. Gregory passes Ava in the galley, makes eye contact for 1 second. His expression is blank, defeated. He wanted security to remove her. Security came, but for him. The irony isn't lost on anyone. As agents escort Gregory down the jet bridge, passengers erupt in questions. What just happened? What was in the cargo? Was there a real fire? Is everyone safe? Ava takes the PA, explains calmly. The aircraft experienced a cargo monitoring situation that required federal investigation. The situation is resolved. Everyone is safe. The captain has been detained by law enforcement for matters unrelated to flight safety. Please remain seated while authorities complete their procedures. Her voice carries such authority that the cabin settles immediately. They trust her because she's the one who's been professional and honest this entire flight. While the captain was paranoid and hostile, she was calm and competent. 2 hours later, passengers finally deplane. They're interviewed briefly by FBI agents. Did they witness the captain's behavior? Did they hear his threats against the flight attendant? Did they notice anything unusual? Multiple passengers provide statements. The church group's pastor offers to testify about Gregory's aggression. The businessman in first class recorded the confrontation on his phone. 17 seconds of video showing Gregory's hostile behavior toward Ava. The video is already going viral. Captain arrests flight attendant. FBI arrests captain instead. 300,000 views in the first hour. In the operations office, Ava gives her formal statement to Agent Reeves, walks through every observation, the cargo weight discrepancy, the non-standard container, the torn manifest seal, Gregory's defensive behavior, the phone monitoring, the vibration, the temperature alarms, everything documented, everything time-stamped, everything photographed. Reeves tells her the cargo container held sophisticated electronic equipment, modified cell site simulators, signal intercept devices, equipment restricted by export control laws. Gregory was being paid to transport it across the country, bypassing security checks and documentation requirements. Classic smuggling operation. The equipment was generating heat during operation, which triggered the fire detection system. The halon discharge preserved the evidence perfectly. They've been tracking Gregory for 6 weeks since an anonymous tip came in about irregularities on his flights, but they couldn't get probable cause for a search until Ava's photos, her documentation, her observations. That gave them everything they needed. Agent Reeves's exact words, "You did our job for us and you did it better. Amanda gives her statement separately, describes Gregory's phone use, his refusal to follow fire procedures, his hostile behavior, his command decisions that violated safety protocols. She's shaken but relieved, glad she documented everything, glad she trusted her instincts. The airline's CEO calls Ava personally that evening, thanks her for her professionalism and vigilance, assures her she acted properly, completely properly. Gregory's behavior was unacceptable. His threats were baseless. She has the full support of the company. 6 months later, Captain Gregory Hall sits in federal prison. He was convicted on 11 counts: illegal transportation of restricted technology, conspiracy to violate the Arms Export Control Act, obstruction of justice, making false statements to federal agents, and 7 counts of export control violations. The trial took 3 weeks. The evidence was overwhelming. Ava's photographs, the FBI's surveillance, the equipment recovered from the cargo hold, the text messages on his phone, the financial records showing payments from a shell company linked to foreign intelligence operations. He was sentenced to 14 years. No parole eligibility for 8. His pilot license was permanently revoked before sentencing. The FAA cited gross negligence, criminal activity during flight operations, and endangerment of crew and passengers. His appeal was denied. Gregory Hall will never fly again, will never see the inside of a cockpit except in memories. He's 52 years old now. By the time he's released, he'll be 60, too old to rebuild an aviation career even if anyone would hire him, which they won't. His accomplice, the passenger in 4B, received 7 years, testified against Gregory in exchange for reduced sentence, provided details about the smuggling network, led to 3 additional arrests. The smuggling operation collapsed. 5 pilots across 3 airlines were investigated. 2 others were arrested and convicted. The network that had been operating for 18 months was completely dismantled, all because one flight attendant paid attention to a cargo weight discrepancy. Senior flight attendant Ava Martinez received the airline's highest honor, the Eagle Award for Exceptional Service and Safety Vigilance. The ceremony was attended by the CEO, the board of directors, and Special Agent Reeves. The FBI also presented her with a civilian commendation for assisting in a federal investigation. The citation specifically mentions her extraordinary attention to detail and professional documentation that provided crucial evidence in a national security case. She was promoted to lead safety and security trainer within 3 months. Now she teaches other flight attendants what to look for, how to document, when to report. Her training program is called Details Matter, and it's mandatory for all cabin crew. She lectures at aviation conferences, writes articles for industry publications, appears on safety panels. The businessman from seat 2A, turns out he's a senior vice president at Boeing, personally wrote a letter to United's CEO praising Ava's conduct. That letter is now part of her permanent file. First Officer Amanda Chen received a commendation for her decision-making under pressure. Her choice to contact approach directly to discharge the fire suppression system despite Gregory's objections, and to maintain aircraft control during a crisis situation demonstrated exactly the kind of judgment airlines want in their captains. She was upgraded to captain 13 months later, one of the youngest female captains in United's fleet. The viral video of Gregory being arrested has been viewed 12 million times. It's used in aviation security training, in crew resource management courses, in FBI recruitment presentations. The caption that gets shared most: he called security on her. Security came for him. The church group from rows 18 to 22 stayed in touch with Ava. They send Christmas cards, pray for her safety, call her their guardian angel. 3 of them flew specifically to Seattle for her awards ceremony. And the cargo container? The equipment inside was dismantled and analyzed, led to identification of a foreign intelligence operation targeting U.S. telecommunications infrastructure. The investigation is ongoing, classified, but Ava knows she played a role, a crucial role. Details matter always. A 500-pound cargo discrepancy, a non-standard tag, a torn manifest seal. Most people wouldn't notice. Most people who noticed wouldn't care. Most people who cared wouldn't document it. Ava noticed, cared, documented. and stopped a national security threat. Captain Gregory Hall thought he was untouchable, thought his seniority and his authority made him immune, thought he could intimidate a flight attendant into silence. His exact words, "You're harassing me. I want you removed from this plane." He got his wish. Someone was removed, just not who he expected. Somewhere right now, someone in authority is abusing their position, hiding something illegal, counting on subordinates to stay quiet, to not ask questions, to not document observations. And somewhere, someone is paying attention, noticing details, building evidence, waiting for the right moment. Power doesn't protect criminals, it just delays their consequences. Gregory Hall learned that at 34,000 feet, and every pilot who hears this story learns it too. The people you underestimate are often the ones who see you most clearly. The cargo container is gone, the equipment dismantled, the operation shut down, but the lesson remains. Details matter, and the people who notice them, they're the ones who keep everyone safe.